Devoto, you don't think this is the old Weber State gym? What? 5'7", first player of color in the history of the NBA. 5'7" jumper, 2 national championships. Weber State. This is what they think. Now, why would they be selling that at the bookstore? You know what that means? Do you know what that means? Well, why is Weber State? Why is Ogden? Why is the world denying Watt's legacy? So this is a great story. I'm doing a series on Bernard Devoto. So we'll walk right down the street, the road to nowhere. We'll have to set it up. Maybe we get somebody homeless. There's a lot of homeless right here. I can hold up my camera. "5'7" jump hook. He just died. Why? They're racist pricks, that's why. They're racist pricks here. It used to be, no, we was racist. We'll put that left. The metal's that left. Oh, you dropped it. Hold that turn. Hey! Devoto and Mckay. He's the first player of color in the history of the NBA. They don't talk about that. That's the only state gym. They want 2 national championships in there. So I'm doing a series on the history of Ogden. Everybody wants to know the real truth of Ogden. I call blood. So. Oh, this town's hardcore. Do not kid yourself. So, betrayed the whole set of these. Devoto, Weber State, Ogden Standard Examiner. Now, this is a marquee, but they actually printed a fucking article about Devoto. Ooh, what the fuck? So we'll do a second. Now, this is good. Oh, this bus can pull out of here. It's fucking idling, taking a nap. They love to idle around here, by the way. It was supposed to be against the law. I grew up in that gym. I did so much. My daughter lived right there. These derelicts that rolled in here from here and bought this got a huge grant. By the way, Caldwell, who I interviewed, that fucking derelict, I went to college with him. I knew his mother-in-law from that. She had leukemia, fighting the same kind of age. He's a fucking moron. Godfrey? God. I restored the Masonic Temple for him. They paid me in cash. Crook. He's from Harrisville. So, smart. Oh yeah, weasel. What he did to Ogden, it's gonna get me going. Mayor Madsen, his furniture factory at the Intermountain Indian School. Don't you love that? My mom worked with him. They had a furniture factory there. I did the building for him, Madsen Furniture. That's the Weber State fucking store. I tear off the facade. The panty pavers down the road. We'll go down the road right there. The Monarch right there. I talked to the girl right there. You know, this is the new Ogden Art Development. I'm born and raised in Chicago. Not from here. Don't have a fucking clue. Let me show you something about literature here. They don't even know who this guy is. They don't know who any of these fucking oligarch fucking, you know, literature giants. What about Kevin Blanch? Fuck him. The panty painters. Ogden. The McGuire. What about McGuire? What about him? Talk about literature. Well, that was more science, right? There's so much fucking history here. That building's been vacant for 15, 20 fucking years. They roll in here, they get a big grant from the fucking city to do it. They left it vacant. I want to buy it. How about the fucking Ben Lomond, Campbell? The most marquee building on the Bigelow. Archie Bigelow was a cook. Oh, I can get into that. Ripped off the whole Hunsaker clan. I'm that clan. Oh, he was a cook. He skipped town. World Bank. You want real history of Ogden? You come hang around with me. Why would fucking Weber State blackball this guy? Because they're racist fucking pricks. That's why. They didn't used to be. This is a great story. When they did the documentary on Watt, Weber State advertised, got a grant, just like they did on 150. On 150 right there at the Railroad 100 on May 10th, 1969, I stood right there. Johnny Cash was the master of ceremony. We go from that to Governor Herbert. They got a major grant to fund. It was a joke. I'll tell you a story how I got out there to it, because it was like 250. Woo! Look what a story that was. I pulled that one off. 25th Street on BALCO. On Chemo. So they do the documentary on what? Weber State's Special Collections, Mark Hoffman has fucking keep. They're so derelict, they put the wrong address on it. So nobody showed up. By the way, it's panty painter as fuck. Everything around here is panty painter. Oh, Blanch says fuck. Yeah, so did Devoto. FAWN Mckay Brody's classroom right there. Right there. The most famous history, the most famous artist in the history of this city by far, Weber High. Born and raised here. The most famous female writer in America. The most famous female historian in the history of the United States. So I talked to her right there. Oh, you're from Chicago. So you know Ogden art? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, really? So you're from Chicago, so you know FAWN Mckay Brody. No, who's that? Well, you're from Chicago. You ever been to the University of Chicago? Oh, yeah, yeah. I went there for a while. For their statue over there. Her classroom's right there. What? Oh, they don't blackball people at Weber State. I fucking hate. Look what they did to me. Just saved their NBA program. Saved their whole fucking thing. Fuck me. Go ask local fucking football players that are playing in the NFL. Weber State wouldn't give them the time of day. You know, we love Jay Hill, Snowball Chanson Hill. He's the best thing ever had to Weber since FAWN. So what? He's walking right here. He's born and raised right there on 25th. So he's born and raised. He's going to school right there. Teacher sends him home. Says on December 7th, 1941. It's not safe for you kids. The racism and discrimination. He wasn't discriminated then. He's discriminated now. Weber State's. I like Brad Mortensen, but look what he's up the Board of Regents, BYC. Karras and Clam, they're criminal derelicts. It's disgusting. They tear down that facade, $1 million facade they tore down. Why? Just because. That's what they do here. They've tore down so many fucking iconic buildings in Ogden. I restored the Masonic Temple, 1905. Hung from a thing. Bernie Allen and fucking Randy Richards promised me they would put a fucking plaque on it. They didn't. They fucked me like everybody fucks me in this town. 10,000 fucking jobs. You label me, I'll label you. The panty painters. You hear of Blood Ogden? Fucking these hardcore radical artists here. Oh, I grew up in this fucking place. I saw it. Oh. Right there where it's at, the art thing, there was a double homicide there recently.
3,600 a month.
The panty painters. None of them are from here. None of them are from here. Well, they are. They're just, they don't know. I call it blood. Teacher sends him home. He goes back to school the next day. He says, never did I have one problem with racism in Ogden. Never. It's a great cosmopolitan city. The fucking boomtown in Art Deco decay. Never. Wesley Hodgson masterpieces, tore them down. That's one of his. West Weber Elementary, the Frank Lloyd Wright, Leslie, the only one in the world. Tore it down. I fought for it. I tried. Polk Elementary, they tried to tear down Ogden High. He goes to the president of Weber State. I believe it was President Dixon at the time. This is the old Weber State campus. The girls' dorms at Bertha Eccles Art Center. He says, well, my cousins, they have them interned at Santa Anita Racetrack. They're put in a camp. They're like slaves. President Dixon drove his car all the way down to Pasadena, Arcadia. Not only loaded them up, brought them here, gave them a job here at Weber State, let them live at his fucking house. Now. They wouldn't retire. He wore number 77, 5'7", national championship. Go ask Arnie Farron. He's still alive. Oh yeah, Ogden High. Go ask Vern Gardner. I knew Vern. He was a school teacher at Bonneville High School. FAWN Mckay, I went to Weber High. Me and FAWN. We'll do more. Devoto. The Ogden Standard Examiner has printed an article about Devoto. Nobody knows more about Ogden. If you don't believe me, you go ask Dr. Russ Barlow. Go ask him. Born and raised here. Carl Porter. Porter's named after his family. You know, first whitey in the cemetery. Oh, it's Blanch. 1822. The Ashley 100. They were derelict murders. They wanted to rename Western Weber County Fremont. I stood up in the hearing and he says, "You out of your fucking mind? He was a mass murderer, blah, blah." So I says, "I got an idea. Let's rechange the name of West Weber to West Weber." Joking. Oh, they voted. That's what they're going to change it to. West Weber. They're going to change West Weber to West Weber. Okay, okay. John Weber from Denmark. Something rotten in the new Denmark. A road to nowhere. Tear it down. They tear it all down. They want to tear down the Masonic Temple. Fucking 1905, Leslie Hawkins first. I hung from a rope and had children. It can't be done. 7 days a week. Now, I have 10,000 fucking jobs. 10,000, but fuck me. Standard Examiner prints a story about Devoto, and you got this debating society. Why don't you interview Carl Porter? Why don't you interview Dr. Barlow? He wrote his PhD on it. Why don't you interview Kevin Blanch? Oh, he says fuck. He says fuck. So did Devoto. One more time. Is she still going? Oh yeah, one more time. Let's just keep these going. These are good series. I'm really excited about it. By the way, so thrilled that this showed up in the Standard today. You don't even know how thrilled I was. You know, I fought for a statue of FAWN Mckay Brody in front of the Stewart Library of DeMar Devoto. Tim, who's on the Board of Regents, he says, "Kevin, we're going to do a Ring of Honor here someday. You know, who do you want on it?" I gave him the list. FAWN Mckay Brody, #1. Well, Devoto belongs in Ogden. He didn't go to Weber State, or did he? You know, 2-year school. How about what? How about what? First player card in the history of the NBA. And he says, "Well, how about Kevin Blanch?" I says, "Well, I want a statue of FAN with her holding my hand. The most famous, important PhD in human history." Oh, and who knows more about Ogden than Kevin Blanch? Nobody. Well, maybe Susan, who ran the Ben Lomond. What they did to the Ben Lomond is a fucking disgrace. That's what Ogden does. Caldwell should be fucking ashamed of himself. He's a derelict. Fucking Matt Godfrey, what a rip-off thief he was. I knew all these mayors. Mayor Matson didn't pay himself shit. Of course he didn't have to. You know, all these oligarchs. When you find out you think they're all that, and you realize they're inherited Browning wealth. They were puppeteers, you know. My grandsons played soccer. Nobody's more Ogden than fucking Kevin Blanch. Nobody's more of the Blanch family. Nobody's more Ogden than the Maidens. Pam Maiden, the most beautiful person maybe in the history of Ogden, just passed away. Nobody's more Ogden than the Maiden. Kevin Blanch. Go talk to Susan from the Ben Lomond. Go talk to her dad owned half of it. The Arlington they tore it down. The Orpheum, I was protesting them when they tore it down. Cook pushed stuff out the top of the Ben Lomond until they crushed it and knocked it down. The vaudeville, fucking Jim Marx Brothers, fucking George Burns says his favorite. You know, right here, Jack Dempsey. Fucking, I got some really good stories about Jesse James coming down Weber Canyon. You know, Ike Potter. Oh yeah, that's my line. Let's see, he got here in 1822. The Ashley 100, but he wasn't one of those. He spoke all 5 trade languages. He was a genius. Fuck him too. Huh? Oh yeah, Puerto Rico slit his fucking throat. Blood Ogden. Discriminate against what? Your state discriminate, blackball fucking historic PhDs? That's fun, okay, boy. What a feather in my fucking hat. I just saved their #1 school of business in the country. Now they're 500. This place has been empty for years. It's the most iconic building in all of Ogden, besides the Masonic Temple that I saved. They let it sit vacant for decades, these fucking hedge fund fucking oligarch pieces of shit. By the way, these apartments are pieces of shit. You know, my daughter used to live in one of them. What a fucking junkyard. The sink fell out. My little grandson, there's a famous video I have him crawling on the bricks, sneaking out, trying to sneak out. I said, "What are you doing, you little guy?" Jumping the fence right there. I said, "What are you doing?" She rented she was the very first tenant in there. You know? Oh, she's a little walking, talking historian. I said, "What are you doing?" He's a little teeny kid. He's got like a little monkey crawling up those bricks. He says, "Nationwide is on my side." Oh my God. There's a masterpiece right there. I went to the opening gig of that. Our famous library. Now it's a homeless. I'll do a whole series of these. I'll keep going. These are good. Thank you to the Standard for finally doing this. Thank you. But you want to know an interview Oh, Kevin Blanch says fuck. So did Devoto. Fuck, talk about a radical. Here comes the bus. We're coming full circle. I ride the bus as much as I can. What a fucking building, huh? Restore it. Name it after what? Restore it and name it after what? Put a statue of him right in front of it. Come on, Ogden. Fuck this guy. Make him fucking sell it. Take it back. Get the Benlow. Where the fuck's the Eccles? Where's old man Spencer? Where the fuck is he? Take it back. Take it back. Force these fuckers out of here. What they've done to the Ben Lomond is a disgrace. What a building. All the handwork, all them ceilings, restoration and restored in the Ben Lomond. Tell one last story quick. Right here I worked for George Pappas when I was a kid. 17. When I was teaching myself how to plaster. I taught myself how to plaster at 15, 16 years old because of my grandpa. I read a book about Michelangelo and said, no, the great artist is not the violin and the bow, it's the hawk and trowel. I taught myself how to plaster. So I'm working for George Pappas as a kid. Right there on the lower the end of 25th Street, the old hotel. There's a Chinese restaurant there. It was creepy. Ooh, it was old and old historic. They illegally built that brick building there. There's a giant facade on the side of the antique store that I did for Dory. I said, you can't cover that up. It's Feather, she's smoking a cigar. They covered it up, illegally. So, I'm plastering that wall there for George. And on the bottom on the right-hand side, you can still see my hand. I have 10,000 jobs in this town, all real. No panty painting for Kevin Blanch, the real stuff. I said, I broke my hoe, George. The next one, he says, I walk around the corner one morning and there's a dead body laying there. He's been beat to death with a hoe. So George calls the cops. This is how bad it was there. The El Borracho was a murder daily. The fucking ponchos. Oh, what food. Murder daily. So he calls cops. Doesn't he make the paper? You know, the powerhouse Ogden Standard Examiner it used to be. So, load the body in, doesn't he make the paper? About a week later, I broke my hoe. I mixed with a hoe. I still did for years. I owned Blanch Plastering for years. You know, Butch is dead, by the way. Anybody who knows, he died, my lead man, tragically. 10,000 jobs in this fucking town. My hand, scars up and down my bodies. We never switched to the fake shit. It's all the good shit, including the barn. Kelly's died. I did that. Go get that fucking hoe. It's still laying there, isn't it? What the fuck? There's blood all over. So what? Go use it. I used it for fucking 15 years. Fucking. Oh, God. Here in Blood, Ogden. Ted Bundy's fucking girlfriend, that psychopath that fucking stayed with him, was right there. Bundy bailed out. His mom and dad bailed him out of the Ogden City. On the top floor was 13th. They tore the top off that Leslie Hodson masterpiece. I'm gonna start doing walking virtual real tours of Ogden. Since nobody knows Ogden, and you don't believe me, go ask Dr. Burroughs. So we're betrayed. What a feather in my cap to be betrayed. Fucking racist fucks. Oh yeah. Remember when I got accepted to Berkeley when I was young? I'm gonna go to Caltech. I told the guy. He says, no, you're not. Those fucking NASA fucking criminals. No, you're not. You're going to Weber State. What? No, I'm not. I'm going to Berkeley. So I get accepted to Berkeley. I graduated 698 in the class of 699 from Weber High, me and FAWN Mckay Brody. I was already a college student at 15 years old in the art program at Weber State. Already. Honors fucking BIS program fucking constantly. The highest scored test ever given by Dr. Clyde Cooley, the most famous finance president, Kevin Blanch. Fuck me. You're going to Weber State. No, I ain't. So you had to write a piece. Have you ever been discriminated against? Yeah, I grew my hair out long. Boy, you either get a haircut or buy a fucking dress. So you know these old timers with the wit here. Remember Dominic walking around here? Fucking good as a trip, man. Children behave. That's what they say. What's happening? I'm in that video. Tribute to what? Number 77. Retired his fucking number. They won't even fucking talk about Trevon Smith beat to death in a jail cell. All-time leading rusher in the history of Weber State. They beat him to death on 4th of July, Mormon boy. Cops beat him to death. You know, mass march was started right here in Ogden by Kevin Blanch, which turned into Black Lives Matter. Fuck me. Blackball me. What a feather. Kind of like FAWN, huh? The new FAWN, really.